Hi, everyone. So the media is out there telling us that we're headed into a recession and there's going to be a housing bubble. My name is Rick Seachlag. I'm with Edge Home Finance, and welcome to my Mortgage Truth YouTube channel. And let's discuss this a little bit and show you what's going on. So there is a good chance that we're going to head into a recession, but that doesn't mean that we have a housing bubble. We went back to 1960, and we want to thank MBS Highway for these charts. And we're looking at Since 1960, we've had 9 recessions. These dark blue lines are recessions. And since in 8 of those, prices for homes went up either in the recession or shortly after. The exception, 2000 and 2009 recession. Now, the fact of the matter is, believe the recession caused the housing bubble, or the housing bubble actually caused that recession. There were many things that led to this bubble that we don't have today. One of the things is we don't have widely available credit. Back here, if you could fog a mirror, you can get a loan, and most of the time, I shouldn't say most, a lot of times they were not very good loans for people. There was a lot of arms and things. So much different today about getting mortgages because the lending rules are not so lax. And then we had the most completions in history of single family homes. I mean, builders were putting them up, and we had a drop in household formations. That's what this blue line is, household formation. And remember, a household formation is just simply this. I'll give you a couple examples because it's just easier from the examples. If somebody lived with their parents and they moved out, that was a household formation. If you had a couple who got divorced and they split up and went to live in different places, that was one household formation. So they don't have to be buyers. It's just the formation. They can also go into the rent. So the median age of the first-time home buyer in 2006 was 33. So if we look back at household formations and why they were lower, is we had a lower birth rate in 33 years before in 1973. In fact, you can see it dropped off pretty good. It just walked off a cliff, and then it continued down, 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 down to the early 2080s or late 1970s. So we had fewer formations, and remember the slide before, we had the most completions in histories, low formations. This is supply and demand. We had a high supply, low demand. So if we look at today, we could go back 33 years and say, and that 33-year-old first-time home buyer stays pretty consistent. We're going back to 1990, and you can see we have a much higher birth rate in 1990 than we did in 1973. So the bottom line is we have more demand, and that is one of the reasons why we will not go into a housing bubble. So if we look at vacancy rate, this is a very important number, vacancy rate. When we look at the vacancy rate, we can see for 25 years it stayed pretty consistent. But during the housing bubble, you can see the vacancy rates went way up. What was happening here is there was a lot of people who were being speculative, and they were buying homes to make a quick buck and didn't pay attention to the demographics of the lower 73 birth rates. Fewer new households led to fewer needed homes. So vacancy rates went way up in these investment properties. These homes that were bought for speculation, they use ARM rates, and as ARM rates increased, the monthly obligations on these empty homes became overbearing, forcing more homes on the market at lower prices, and voila, you have a housing bubble that pops. Can this happen today? Well, if you look at the vacancy rates here to the right of the screen, we are at record lows. There just isn't a high number of vacancy rates. So if there's a home, there's usually somebody there to fill it. If you want to see what a housing bubble looks like, look no further than 2007. You had 4 million homes on the market. Today, we have 1.08, which is just a fraction. And if we take this one step further, of those 1,000, or excuse me, 1 million homes, the existing is 1,080,000 under contract, or so they're under off the market, are 466,000. So the actual inventory of active listings is 614,000. And just remember, there are 30 million more people in America today. So active home listings in the U.S., that doesn't tell the whole story. Here we're looking at active listings from January 2017. They go down, 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 down. And these humps are always summer months where people want to move so their children don't have to start new school in the mid-year. So that's why you have the humps. Here's the pandemic. So now we're moving down, and all of a sudden in May of 2000, we're at lows. About half the homes out there that were available in 2017. Another reason people are saying we're set for a housing crash is because of the rapid appreciation of single-family homes. Don't ever bet against the champ. The housing record since 1942, this record, is 73, 7, and 1. That means that housing has appreciated 73 years, gone down 7, and been flat 1. If you see a large increase of values, does that mean we are set for a bubble? Not hardly. In 1942 through 1947, and I know this is a long time ago, prices compounded 118%. If you were going to wait to buy a home until houses price dropped in 1947, you would have to wait 43 years for it to drop 1%. That's a long time. If you were looking at another one in 74 through 79, prices compounded at 93%. They really shot up 74 to 79. And the prices went higher for 10 years before that same 1%. And then they went up again. So it's another 14 years of consecutive positive years. Everybody focuses on 2007 through 2011. And that's what we don't want you to focus on, simply because everything is different. Number one, fewer homes are on the market. And the demand is much higher because there's more people and more people are trying to buy it. So when demand is high and the supply is low, you have higher prices. So if you look at the differences between 2007 and 2011, here they are: the inventory, the demographics, and now the lending standards. All of those are different that can create what we're looking at right now, 100% different than what happened in 2007 and 2011. When we look at home prices are turning higher right now, just like we say, Case-Shiller, FHFA, CoreLogic, Black Knight, Zillow, these folks have all been around and they track this. These are the economic reports on the pricing of homes. It appears as though January of this year was the turning point. Now prices are starting to go up, and in fact they're looking at probably 6 to 7% for the next few years again. So it is not anything to be concerned about your house. In fact, it's going to cost you money if you wait. If we take a look at the last market bottom cycle, it was back here between right around February of 2012. And whenever that happens, there's always an 8% per year appreciation over the next year after the bottom, even with 200 2,400,000 in the inventory. 8% appreciating over the next year after bottom. So what happens if you knew your house was going to appreciate 8% per year? So the bottom line is we are not going to be headed into a housing bubble. If you want to buy a home, you should buy it now. And if you have any questions, give me a holler and we'll talk to you soon. Bye now.